More new vaping cases across the country, including 2 here in Oregon.
And we're hearing from Governor Brown. She's responding to controversy surrounding the resignation of Oregon's public records advocate and her plans now to move forward. Plus,
might actually be a little trickier than I thought. If I wasn't looking for cameras, knowing that there are cameras here, I would not. There's no way that I would see that. That's creepy.
Finding hidden cameras. Would you be able to tell if there's someone spying on your hotel room? We'll see just how tough it is to spot them.
This is KGW News at 6.
First at 6 o'clock right now, a Portland woman says her friends have been getting in touch with her. They think that she's been involved in a crime, and it's because her kind of unique name has been plastered on mugshots all over local media and used in court.
And it turns out she's innocent, and she's actually a victim of identity theft. KGW's Lindsay Nadrich looked into this really bizarre case. Lindsay?
Yeah, well, the woman arrested gave police the fake name and initially seemed to get away with it. The problem, it's a unique name that belongs to a very real person who was not in any way involved in this case.
Let's start from the beginning. Hillsborough police arrested 2 people Saturday who checked into the Extended Stay America using fake IDs and driving a stolen car, according to court documents. Those 2 people were later identified as Elliot Carr and Nikola Kostov, who also goes by the name Peacelyn Butterfly Perilou. At least that's what she told law enforcement. But it turns out Peacelyn is not her real name at all. Today, Hillsborough police confirmed Nikola was using a stolen identity. This is the real Peacelyn. She says she was a victim of identity theft and is now working to get an attorney to sort this all out. She didn't want to go on camera until that happens, but over the phone, Peacelyn's boyfriend told me her car was broken into in Tigard in August, and a backpack that had her ID and social security card in it was stolen. The Better Business Bureau says it's one thing to get your license stolen, but your social security card?
It can be a real mess. We hear about it all the time. It's heartbreaking. It's hard to get over, but luckily there are resources out there for people that at least can put you in the right direction.
The real Peacelyn did file a report with Tigard police about the theft. But of all things that could happen, she wasn't expecting to see her name show up on TV under Nikola's mugshot. Nikola used Peacelyn's name when she appeared in court yesterday. The case is even filed under the wrong name. The Washington County District Attorney's Office told me that will be changed eventually, but for now couldn't comment any further. In the meantime, though, this case is an example of how bad identity theft can be.
That's the toughest to recover, and you have to pretty much monitor that for the rest of your life, which is unfortunate.
If your information is stolen, the BBB says you should immediately alert your bank, the police, credit companies like TransUnion and Equifax, the DMV, and in some cases, the Federal Trade Commission.
In Peacelyn's case, her name isn't common enough to be confused with anyone else, so her boyfriend says a ton of people have reached out to them thinking she was the one involved in the crime. She now feels like her reputation is scarred and says it's already having a negative impact on her photography business. Back to you.
Oh man, she's an entrepreneur on top of it. That is tough.
What a nightmare for her.
Lindsay, thank you so much. So it rained today, and we got a rainy night to look forward to. This is a live look right now at Portland from our Rose City sky camera.
Certainly feeling like and looking like summer weather's over as cool, wet weather moves in. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafino has the details in our first forecast. Matt, summer weather over?
Not exactly an inspiring shot out there unless you love it gray and wet. No, summer's not over yet. We'll get some good weather once again going forward. One day does not a season end, but just when you think today was going to improve, and it did a little bit, the rain starts pounding down. It's raining hard in downtown Portland right now, as you can see from our Wells Fargo Skycam. Only 63 degrees, and the showers continue to pour on shore. Even though you don't see much out here, that's because it's out of radar range. There is a lot of showery weather coming our way. You notice there were some lightning strikes along the coast. We're going to see more of that tomorrow, both at the coast and inland with the warming of the day. But there's a good band of showers right over downtown Portland right now. It will lighten up. We'll actually get some breaks in the clouds later on tonight, but the showers will continue on and off. You see there's some heavier rain out by Tillamook right now, and that will be headed our way overnight and into the morning hours. So showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. It will be dry on Thursday. That'll feel summery-ish, kind of, sort of. And then dry again on Saturday. That'll be warmer. We'll be back into the 70s on Saturday, and there's more dry weather to come after that. Coming up, we'll talk about Tropical Storm Imelda Remember where Harvey was? This is close to the same place. Back to you.
Geez, I will take summerish in the meantime.
Right?
Thank you. Appreciate it, Matt. So we have more cases to tell you about of illnesses related to vaping. 4 of them are in the Northwest, 2 right here in Oregon, and the others in Spokane County. All the victims ended up with severe lung disease. Hundreds of people across the country are reporting similar symptoms, and so far 7 people have died. KGW investigator Kristen Severance is here to verify what we know so far.
So much information to keep track of during this developing story. So let's start with the states who have reported vape-related deaths. Up to 7 cases now. California has 2 deaths. Here in Oregon, a middle-aged man died after using a cannabis cartridge that he purchased from a dispensary. The other states to report vape-related deaths: Kansas, Minnesota, Illinois, and Indiana. Now let's talk about people getting sick. Nearly 400 cases have been reported. The CDC is now coordinating its effort to really investigate this. They also put together a mobile command center where they can, better share information when it comes to trying to pinpoint the exact cause of this. Now, health officials are saying many of the 400 people that have gotten sick because of this, they have used oil laced with THC in their vape pen. Now let's talk about the cities and states who have banned flavored e-cigarettes. San Francisco was the first. They enacted a ban earlier this summer, followed by Michigan. They did their ban earlier this month. And then just on Sunday, the governor of New York said he wants to ban flavored e-cigarettes, but he does not want to ban menthol flavored e-cigarette liquid. The CDC, FDA, they are saying while they investigate, they recommend that people stay away from all vaping products. Do you have something you want us to verify, vape related or not? Please let us know. Email us, verify@kgw.com.
As new cases are revealed, there are a lot of warnings going out across the airwaves and social media. You've probably heard them, but is anyone really listening? KGW's Pat Doris went out to talk with people who vape or have friends who do to see if they're paying attention to those warnings. Pat?
Well, Laurel, few people is what I found in their late 20s or 30s are listening. They don't want to be told what to do in general, and they really don't want to be told there could be something dangerous about vaping. On the campus of Portland State University, the fall term starts next week, but some students like Casey Corman are already here.
Well, I actually vape.
She knows there might be danger with vaping and THC oils, but she ignores the newspaper articles her mom and her grandma send her.
But I follow what they're saying on the internet, more young people who actually are experiencing firsthand these scary symptoms. So.
Because they have more credibility.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're the ones using them, I guess.
That will be an ongoing challenge for those trying to warn college students and others. The message has to come from someone they relate to, and even then, the behavior might be hard to change. Listen to this. Casey continues to vape even though friends are in real trouble.
I'm from Minnesota. One of my friends is coughing up blood, and some have sharp pains in their lungs. And
that's from vaping, you think?
I mean, yeah, they're heavy smokers, weed, vape, yeah, so.
Mary Houston does not vape, but she knows people who do. Are they worried about this national?
No, they're not worried about. They don't feel like it's on their radar at all. They're just using something that's cool.
And it's on the rise. A recent USC study found a 46% increase in e-cigarette use, that includes vaping, among 18 to 24-year-olds between the years 2017 and 2018. 46%. Dylan Chambers recently turned 21 and said he enjoys vaping with THC.
And what about when all the parents and all the experts are saying, hey, be careful, this seems dangerous? Do kids in their 20s listen?
No, they don't. They don't listen.
Danny Sarton quit vaping 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was a very avid user.
He quit in part because vaping made it harder for him to run. And like so many others, he's heard the warnings, but not from those in authority.
And what about when you hear kind of the experts and all the parents saying, hey, be careful with this? Do 20-somethings listen to that?
No. No, I don't.
That was universally the reaction I got. A lot more work to do to those who want to convey the danger out there.
These people are speaking honestly to you, right? Telling you how they really feel. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate the report. So today, the DEA carried out administrative inspection warrants at several Kaiser Permanente pharmacies across the country, and it included one right here in North Portland. We reached out to DEA officials who would only say that the inspections were focused on prescriptions. In a statement, Kaiser said it is fully cooperating with the DEA.
Governor Kate Brown is promising changes after Oregon's public records advocate resigned. We talked with Ginger McCall over the weekend. McCall says she stepped down because Brown's staff told her she represented the governor's office. Brown created the position after John Kitzhaber's resignation. It was supposed to be independent and create transparency. Governor Brown released a statement today. She says she will support changes to the position to make sure it's not directly overseen by any elected official, and said in part that the position structure was flawed when it was created.
We want to tell you that a Green Beret stationed out of Joint Base Lewis McChord is in Washington has died in Afghanistan. This is 41-year-old Sergeant First Class Jeremy Griffin. He's from Tennessee. He was on his 4th combat deployment in Afghanistan. He died yesterday in a firefight. Griffin joined the Army in 2004. He was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star and Purple Heart.